What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Doctor Who review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 10th Doctor David Tennant story, The Doctor's Daughter. It is the next episode from Series 4, my favourite series of New Who, and it's an episode that I think most people consider to be the weakest episode in Series 4. I would probably agree with that, although I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people say it is. A lot of people really dislike this one. I think it's still a good story. That's how much I really like this series. And yeah, it's probably the weakest of the series, but it's still good in my opinion. So anyway, let's get started with the cast. David Tennant as the 10th Doctor. Yep, David Tennant, he's great. You could pretty much just re-record that for every single, replay that for every single thing I've said, because he's just really, really good here. I like his, once again, of course, we've got Martha in this story as well, so we've got the dynamic between the Doctor, Donna, and Martha, and I think he plays that really well. Although, to be fair, Martha is absent from the Doctor and Donna for the majority of the story. But when they are together, it's all good stuff. He also has great chemistry with Georgia Moffat, who plays Jenny, his daughter in this story, who, of course, in real life is now actually his wife in real life, and she's also the real life daughter of Peter Davison, the Fifth Doctor. So yeah, this just confusing as hell. Doctor Who, that's Doctor Who for you. She's the Doctor's daughter in this episode, but she's actually a real Doctor's daughter, but she's this Doctor's wife in real life. Very confusing. But yeah, all in all, together, David Tennant, he has great chemistry with everyone. Catherine Tate as Donna Noble is always really, really good. She has some great moments here where she's, poking fun at the Doctor, you've got a kid, you've got to worry about a kid all the time. And then she's like, oh, you don't know what it's like to have a kid. And the Doctor's like, yeah, I've actually had kids before. And she seems a bit blown away by that. And, Donna also figures out she basically figures out what's going on in this story. She works out what the problem is, really. So yeah, great one for Donna. And of course, Freema Agyeman as Martha Jones. Like I said, she's absent from the Doctor and Donna and Jenny for most of this story. She's off on the other side. This is a story of basically two factions, two sides of a war, and she's on the other side pretty much the entire time. So it doesn't have that much to do with the other cast members, but when she's with the Hath and all that sort of stuff, she has some great moments. She's good in this story. She has a purpose, for sure. So yeah, I really like her here. Let's get on to some points for this episode. The Doctor's DNA made his daughter. So the episode starts with, the TARDIS landing on this planet in this building, and straight away they get taken by soldiers, and the Doctor's hand gets shoved in to this kind of thing that takes his DNA, basically cuts his hand, takes a tissue sample, and then creates a being from him using his DNA, which ends up being his daughter, or who they're calling his daughter. So it's a very exciting start to the episode, because it's like, wait, what is this? Another Time Lord? What is all this? Martha gets trapped on the Hath side of the tunnel. So yeah, very quickly, the war's breaking out, and the tunnel that they're in collapses, and we end up having a side with the humans on it and a side with the Hath on it, which are these kind of fish creatures, is the best way to describe them. And Martha gets trapped on that other side with the Hath, and she is with the Hath for the remainder of this story. So it sets up a nice premise, so that it's a nice way to see both sides of the war, having Martha there, so it really works. Humans and Hath have been at war for generations. Now, this is something that's brought up quite a few times throughout the story. We've been at war for generations. The word generations is a very specific word that's used here, and we'll get onto why that is later. But yeah, I just thought I'd put that in there because it makes it seem like this war between these two factions has been going on for a long time. Jenny has two hearts. So we find out that Jenny, she may not be a Time Lord, but she has two hearts, because the Doctor is very much kind of disowning her. Not disowning her. I guess he kind of is, but dismaying her. He doesn't really, he has a bit of a, oh, I'm a Time Lord and I'm the best, and you don't know what it's like to be a Time Lord. You're not a real Time Lord whole thing. And Donna checks her heartbeats and heartbeats because, yeah, she's got two hearts. So that's a big moment for the doctor. He's like, wow, okay. And the shock on his face is, well, it's quite shocking. Jenny flipping through the lasers. Now, this is one of the silly moments in the story, which, I mean, I guess I'm not the biggest fan of. It is just quite silly, and like, how the hell did she make it through all those lasers? But it is funny, and I love the whole thing of Donna going, "I'd like to see you try that," to the doctor. It's just a nice little funny scene. The Hath saves Martha from drowning in the mud pit. So Martha decides to go up to the surface. This whole thing on this world is that they're all underground. They're in these kind of tunnels and bases underground because the world above them is basically too polluted, and it's not safe to be up there. But Martha wants to go check it out. She goes up, and the Hath follows her around through there. But she then very clumsily falls into this pit. And now, I like this scene in a way that it's a very emotional scene. There's some great emotion from Martha. It is very sad, even though, because, spoiler alert, I mean, I'm talking about it right now. Martha falls in the pit, the Hath jumps in, pulls Martha out, and drowns himself and dies. It is a very sad scene. The way that she falls in, and, I mean, of course, he jumps in. Well, no, she's like there drowning. She's like, help me, help me, help me. Oh, you got to jump in and save me. So he jumps in and saves her. She does not try and help him at all. She's just clawing her way to get out of there. And then she's just like, oh no, and then he dies. It is a bit of a silly scene, but it's also quite emotional, that whole scene. But yeah, it is, though, yeah, like I said, it is a bit, I don't know, on Martha. It's like, okay, help me, yeah, I'm going to save myself. And then, oh no, you've died. The war's actually only been going for 7 days. This is where I was talking about with the whole generations thing. Donna, there's all these what look like dates. They're all just like numbers, like they're serial numbers or something on the walls throughout this tunnel system. Donna figures out their dates, but they're kind of going up by one at a time, and she works it out that it's just like it's like 7 days. She works out that we've seen 7 dates here from where we started to where we are now. This war's only been going on for 7 days, but they say generations because, of course, they're using this cloning DNA machine. A generation, the doctor says something about you could have hundreds of generations in an hour. Like, there's so many generations with this cloning machine thing that the people, they don't know how long this has been going on for. They all think it's been going on for years and years and years. It's only been going for a week. The humans and Hath are fighting over a terraforming device. So yeah, turns out what they're fighting over in this kind of central room, really nice room, there's plants and stuff everywhere, and it's like, wow, the surface above is nothing like this. We don't have anything like this down in these tunnels. It turns out that what's making this life in this one room is this terraforming device that they can use to basically terraform the planet to make it habitable on the surface. That is what they're fighting over. I don't even think they knew what they were fighting over the whole time. It's interesting. It's an interesting concept. Jenny gets shot and dies. So yeah, then we have the whole moment of when the doctor figures out and Donna figures out that this is what you're fighting for. So, we can just use this thing together, save the planet, and live in harmony as human and Hath. And pretty much everyone seems to be on board with this. They're mesmerized by this terraforming thing. They all put their guns down, apart from, what's his name? Colonel Cobb, I think his name is, the main human soldier. He does not believe that human and Hath can live in harmony, and he tries to shoot the doctor, but Jenny steps in his way and gets shot herself and presumably dies. The doctor, resisting the urge to kill General Cobb. Yeah, it's General Cobb, sorry, I think I said Colonel Cobb before. He grabs the gun and points it at his head, and it's a really, really good moment. Great acting from David Tennant. The anger and frustration in his face and the music that plays, and he's just got the gun to his head, but he turns the gun around, he puts it down, and he says, "I never would." And it's a really threatening moment by the doctor, but at the same time, and then he goes on this whole speech of, make this world a world of a man that never would, because he wouldn't shoot someone, he wouldn't do something like that, even though, General Cobb's just killed his basically daughter. He would not go and do the same thing. So yeah, I love that moment. I think that is such a good moment in this episode. And finally, Jenny lives and flies off in a spaceship. So yeah, Jenny didn't die. She also didn't regenerate, so I don't know what that's about, because she's got two hearts. She's, of course, come from the Doctor, but she's not really a Time Lord. She hasn't regenerated. She's just come back to life. And yeah, she then goes flying off in a spaceship, but the Doctor doesn't know that. He leaves thinking that she's dead, but it turns out she's out there somewhere in the universe going on her own adventures. Of course, I'm pretty sure they made a Big Finish spin-off, which was pretty cool. But yeah, Jenny survives. I like that she survives. I quite like the fact that the Doctor doesn't know she survives as well. I think that's very good storytelling there. But yeah, she doesn't regenerate though, so I don't really know what happens there. If she gets shot again, does she not die that time as well and still not regenerate? I don't really know how that works. Maybe that's talked about in Big Finish. I don't know. I haven't heard them personally. So there we have it. That was my review for The Doctor's Daughter. Like I said, I think this is a fine episode. It's not an amazing episode. It is probably the weakest of the season, but not by a long way. And I would definitely, yeah, recommend you watch it. I quite enjoy it. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's fine. It's a decent enough episode. Nothing really more to say. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.